But really, when we go into this, and the work that we're going to be showcasing is coming from projects that we've done over the past years in the region. We started putting together these decks towards the end of last year, so we were doing it in November, December, and we rolled it out in January and made them available and started going around and introducing this. So some of this information is based on secondary statistics, where we've been just looking at them, analyzing it in different ways to understand what the actual opportunities are, also the challenges in the market. And some of the stuff that we'll be showing is actually coming directly from primary research, which is not available anywhere else, or if other people have it, then they're not sharing it. So there's a mix for both Indonesia. For Indonesia, we'll be focusing on the automotive market in general, looking at the passenger vehicles and the commercial vehicle market. Whereas for Thailand, what we'll be showcasing is the aftermarket opportunity. So there we're seeing a big shift towards the aftermarket because it's been growing for quite a few years now, and the aftermarket cars, or the population, is starting to mature in terms of vehicles. So the opportunity there is starting to become quite interesting. So what's going on in Indonesia? For those of you that know, over the past years, Indonesia has been selling fewer and fewer new passenger vehicles. That being said, we are still quite gung-ho, positive about the overall outlook until 2020. So we do expect a growth rate of 6.8% is what we forecasted internally. Now we've taken this to some OEMs and they say we're actually too low. We've taken it to some suppliers and they say we're too high. So I think if some people say we're too high, some say we're too low, being in the middle is okay. In terms of what's going to push the automotive segment, and we'll look at that in more detail, is what they call, and I've learned today that it's actually the affordable car segment, but the low-cost green car segment is a new development in Indonesia that the government has been pushing. Some people say it hasn't been successful enough, but we'll see where it's come from. And we think that it's going to continue to push the market and offer real opportunities for the OEMs that'll be able to actually harness that. There's a lot of strings attached with this, and we'll touch on those as well. In terms of motorcycles, Indonesia is just a huge market for motorcycles. It's perhaps not as interesting for other motorcycle manufacturers because it is really the workhorse of the Indonesian economy, transporting goods and stuff like that. But we still see a fairly interesting growth rate of 4.8% for people, and it will play a large role as they urbanize, as smaller cities grow and people need to become more mobile. Truck growth and bus growth, we've both looked at these. Trucks, they've been purchasing in the past, and so we do expect a little bit of a slowdown here. Within the segments, though, it's quite diverse. So overall, we're looking at 3.5%, but what we'll show is this gasoline light-duty truck segment, and that's primarily an owner-operator segment.